I've dealt and danced with suicidal depression for quite a few years, where I got to the point where one time I had razor blades pushed hard into my wrist and nearly slashed my wrists. One time I was at the edge of a building, 1 inch away from going off the top of the building, you know, and in my experience, it came, I know clearly why I got suicidal depression, and it wasn't a thing that happened overnight, it was a progressive thing.
Isn't that pure fucking strength to say, can you help me? Welcome. It's an honor to have you here.
It's nice to be here, my bro.
We go straight in, and maybe I'll share how we met or how I got to know you. You host those sober parties, Rise and Shine.
Correct.
And I stopped drinking alcohol, I think like 4 or 5 years ago. I went to one of your parties and there was this big, tall, good-looking young man, which was you. And when you told me you're 44, I'm like, wait a minute, what? You look like 30. Your energy is really contagious. And then I got to know you a bit and heard about your story. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, I had Nick Pigeon on the show. And she wrote a book about suicide prevention. And she told me, you know what? We have a common friend, Anthony. And I'm like, wait a second. Because I was looking for someone who would be ready and open to start a conversation, to have a conversation with me here about some deep, vulnerable stuff. Because I looked at the numbers before we started the episode, and every single time when I read it, it's unbelievable to me. Males are more than twice as likely to die by suicide than females. 700,000 people a year die because of suicide or commit suicide. And in the UK, where you are from, it's the leading cause of death among young men. And when I heard that, when I read her book, I was just, I wanted to do something about it with the resources I have. So it led me to you because you have such a beautiful, powerful story, and I'm grateful to have you here.
Yeah, mate. I mean, I'm a man that's very open. I've made huge mistakes in my life, but I'm happy to share them. I don't keep them hidden. I think as men and even as humans, we've got to share the things we've learned to be true and the things we've learned that are mistakes. Yeah. And we've got to try and help each other and teach each other and help make positive change in the world. Yeah. And the truth is, I've dealt and danced with suicidal depression for quite a few years, where I got to the point where one time I had razor blades pushed hard into my wrist and nearly slashed my wrists. One time I was at the edge of a building, 1 inch away from going off the top of the building, you know, and in my experience, it came, I know clearly why I got suicidal depression, and it wasn't a thing that happened overnight, it was a progressive thing. So I believe your body's constantly communicating to you through thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Mm-hmm. And the times we're currently living in, we stop listening to our body. So for example, you mentioned sobriety, a hangover is your body communicating very clearly that I didn't like that. But we just say it's a hangover and just leave it at that. We don't see it as communication from the body. And that's actually what started happening to me, mate. I didn't used to get hangovers, and at the age of 25, I started getting hangovers. I got worse and worse, and at the age of 26, I started getting anxiety. And at the age of 28, I started getting depression, and this is I think all linked together and progression going downwards. And then at the age of 30, my depression went from depression to suicidal depression. So when I look back, it was a movement downwards over about 5 years, where my body was resisting it, but I wasn't eating healthy, and I was drinking a lot of alcohol and putting a lot of poisonous substances in my body, and wasn't even really considering the health of my own body at all. All I was really focused on was having a good time, making a lot of money, and connecting with girls, like pulling as many girls as I can. They were my only focuses in my whole entire life. And because I wasn't listening to the communication from my body, my energy, I got unhealthier week by week, a little bit, unhealthier, and then I hit rock bottom and nearly killed myself quite a few times over the space of about 1 year.
And when was that?
at about the age of 29, 30, mate.
So like 15, 16 years.
And it was like I was getting unhealthier, but it was going every time I went out in the drink, because I was drinking so much, I had to drink more to get that drunk. And I would just get drunker and drunker. And through the week, I was only eating food with the intention to have as much protein in my body. So I was only really bothered about protein. That's the only focus I thought food was about, was protein, so I could get bigger muscles, so I could look sexy, so I could pull more women. Again, resulting in pulling women. Making money or pulling women was everything I'd done in my life was to do one of them, was to conclude in the manifestation of one of them two things. And that is the wrong path. We haven't been sent to this glorious planet to make money. That's just a man-made concept. I haven't been sent to this planet to sleep with women I don't even know, drunk as well. Like 95% of the time I was highly drunk when I slept with these women. So no, I got led down the path of, and when I spoke to other men, they were all doing the same thing. The Western designed man is designed by the system to be so obsessed with making money and sleeping with women and being like cool in his little social morses.
You forgot the cigars.
And the cigars, bro, just puffing away on cigars, just there, just loving life. So I walked down the wrong path, mate, for quite a long time, and I ended that path with suicidal depression, and I didn't kill myself, mate. I was strong enough to snap out of my body and look at my life and go, where is this coming from? Because I'm classed as very successful. I'm making a lot of money, and I am sleeping with a lot of women. They were the two things I've been trying to achieve for the last 15 years. Why am I so down and want to kill myself? And when I asked myself the question, why am I so down? I just heard in my head, it's because you're poisoning yourself, because of the alcohol, and you're not really eating any food apart from rice and chicken and tuna and steaks and protein. So I was like, oh my God, I've got to do something about this. I've got to somehow make change. And I knew I had to snap out of my life that I was currently living, because it was all about that. Everything I did was about making money, parties, alcohol. And then I decided to travel the world, and instead of going to Miami to party and sleep with women and Ibiza to party and women, I ended up going to India and living in ashrams and doing a silent retreat. And I lived in jungles with tribes in the treetops. And I lived on little islands where there was nothing but little tiny small, the most basic garden shed beach huts with a thin single mattress on the floor with not even room for a cupboard. You just throw your bag on top of your mattress and use that as a pillow. And it was just nature. And I was away from alcohol, and I was away from society, and I was away from parties, and I started feeling new sets of thoughts coming through my head, because I was questioning what's life about. And after traveling like that for about 6 months, it became very obvious what life's about, mate. And I got a new narrative and a new number one moral that I wanted to live by, and it was I think we've been sent here not to make money and sleep with women, which most men are doing, but to make the world a better place, not just for humans and for yourself, but make the world a better place for all life that exists. And I started realizing, well, that's heaven. And I thought, actually, that's got to be our highest calling. What we're doing on this planet is to bring heaven to earth. And
I like that, heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth. And it's here on all levels, bro, apart from the human level. Everything else all around us is heaven already. The only thing that's stopping that frequency flowing on a global level is us humans, because we're doing stupid things.
Let me... Can you take us back to the moment when you were, let's call it winter time, when you were during your darkest time? If I would have been a fly in your head during that time, what were the thoughts you kept thinking, kept repeating?
What's the point in life? There's no point in doing anything. I don't want to be alive. These negative emotions of sadness and anxiety, this jolty energy in my heart of anxiety and not really knowing what to do, and standing up and sitting down and going to bed and wanting to go to sleep to switch off this thing, and just wanting it to stop, bro. There was a constant, very uncomfortable emotion going through my body, which you can call anxiety. Sad feelings of like, why is this going so wrong? Why do I feel like this way? I'm doing, what am I meant to be doing? Am I not a nice man? Why are you treating me like this, God? Why is this and just getting cyclones of that directions of negative and questioning, being unsure and sad and not feeling good and feeling down and feeling sad and feeling hungover and feeling sick and feeling tired. You know, my body was worn out. We're accompanied with the lots of alcohol. There's after parties and sleepless nights. You know, the 4 things that I've realized can make a truly healthy body now is nutrition, what you're eating, exercise, sleep, and toxins. I call it the NEST principle: nutrition, exercise, sleep, toxins. They're the 4 things I think we need to be looking at to be a truly healthy body. The simple ones. You can go beyond that and go into the more magical ones like the light, macabre, inner cellular activation, which a lot of people do here in Bali, which I love, the magic side. But we've got to go at the basic steps, the 4 simple steps, which are them. And the nutrition was not good at all, bro. The exercise was average. I was doing it just to get bigger biceps. My sleep was all over the place, mate, because I was going out every weekend and doing after parties. And my toxins, I was putting so many toxins in my body that my body was just not working well, mate. And I could feel it. I was sitting in it. I live in it. I could tell it wasn't working well, and that's what it felt like. And I was going in downward spiral, dark energy, dark thought patterns, uncomfortable feelings, knowing that was something wrong in my body, anxiety, pangs of explosive anxiety, where I'd have to stand up and not really know what to do, and worry, oh shit, what did I do last night? I was so drunk, I can't even remember. Oh my God, what did I do with that girl? She's got a boyfriend, I know she has. Oh my God, I think she mentioned he was a Russian gangster. What if he comes and kills me because I was kissing her last night? Oh man, what did I do? Oh no. Oh, I'm sick of feeling like that. I just want it all to end. I don't want to be like this anymore. I'm not happy. I'm not enjoying my life. I'm just going to kill myself. That's the only way I can make it end. Sleep makes it stop for 4 or 5 hours or whatever. And I wake up. And that when you've got depression and anxiety like that, one of the worst things is the second you wake up, when you get the download of who you are and where you're doing and where you're living and where you woke up and where you're sleeping and the download of what's going, which takes like a millisecond, the instant you wake up, you're instantly depressed, bro. And when you've just been to sleep for your 10 hours or whatever you're doing, and then you wake up and you're instantly depressed and you know you've got 10 hours awake and you're going to be depressed, that is horrible, mate. Waking up really depressed is such a hard thing. And that was happening regularly for me. It might get to Thursday, Friday when I've done a few days at the gym and my energy's a little bit higher. But then usually I'm going to go out and drink again, mate, like everyone does. And it kind of masks the depressed feeling. And you're out with your mates and you have a bit of fun and you're drunk and you're feeling okay. But my whole life, mate, I was ultimately going like this and going down, but I wasn't really getting healthier. And that's what I do now, is I believe one of our natural responsibilities for this glorious machine called the body we've been blessed with is to treat it with love and respect. And it can grow like a tree towards the light a little bit every day. And you can either get healthier every day, which requires discipline, or you can get unhealthier every day. And I realized up until the age of 30, I was getting unhealthier every day. And on that journey of going downwards, slowly but surely, every day for 30 years ultimately, mate, that my moment of like make or break moment was suicidal depression. Some people get cancer, and that's their wake-up call moment, but if you're going downwards energetically, I feel like the lower frequency moments of time lie here, and I'm here, and I'm getting unhealthier and healthier. And there's just a moment of time that's magnetically going to be attracted and be in my body. And that's how I believe you can heal anything, mate. If you're unhealthy and you've got an illness in your body called depression or cancer or diabetes, if you're getting a little bit healthier every day, there's just a moment of time you get healthier than that vibration and it drops away. So what excites me now as a man, mate, is I'm saying, well, that's an expansive upward spiral journey, and there's no cut-off point to a body with infinite potential. So where does this upward journey lead to? And I think that's where you get these magical powers.
I have a really important, obvious question. How the fuck did you get from this, and I loved it, how authentically you described it, those thoughts that felt so overwhelming that you thought, and I think that's when you commit suicide, when you think dying is going to be the easier option. It's harder to be alive than to be dead. I think if you make that decision, if you believe that thought, which is complete bullshit, I think then would you agree? That's the time when you say, okay, fuck it.
There was just something present in me, mate, where I knew killing myself wasn't the answer, and in the background I had a love for life. I've got a family that love me. I've got freedom. At the time, one of the times I was suicidally depressed and nearly threw myself off the building, and the time I had the risk, I was living in Ibiza, mate. I had a good life, So although had these negative, nasty thoughts going on, there was also another side going, things can be better. You can change things.
So this inner voice that kind of was whispering.
It was like the devil and an angel on one shoulder, bro. And even that was exhausting sometimes. But I was still listening to the angel sometimes, bro. You know, we're not
Just the devil was a
the
bit
devil
louder.
was shouting at me, and that would last for hours sometimes, mate. And there are the times where I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But even the listening.
How did you go from this, I can't do this anymore, and wanting to kill yourself, to the version that I'm seeing in front of you?
Changed my reality, mate. So I knew that obviously the life I was in had led to the path where I'm nearly to kill myself. So the life I was living and the choices I was making were incorrect. Although I was deemed as very successful, it was incorrect, that life equation. I was very successful with suicidal depression. I was like, that doesn't make sense. That's not true. I've got to change my reality. What do I do? Well, I know drinking as much alcohol as I am is going to have a negative impact on my body. So I've got to stop drinking alcohol for a moment in time. How the hell am I going to do that? Because I was running parties with alcohol. I was running the biggest parties in the UK with alcohol. I was the party boy. I was making a lot of money. People were working for me. I had a lot of responsibility based on alcohol. I knew I had to halt and shift my reality and step into a new reality. So that's why I went traveling the world, mate, and I went to different places where I knew there wouldn't be any alcohol even to see, let alone to drink. So I shifted my whole reality with the intention, mate. And to be honest with you, mate, quite
Must have
quick,
been hard, though.
of course, bro, a life test. It was a life test moment.
Like we are so in love with the familiar situation.
And money, mate. I was addicted to money. I was making £20,000 a month easy just by putting 1 or 2 posts on MySpace. It was at the time. It was before Instagram, and that was MySpace. I used to put one party, the next Swankies, it was called, is now live. I'd sell 1,000 tickets for £30 a ticket. And it was all the models going to it because I was modelling for an agency called Storm, one of the world's leading model agencies. So 70% of the people that came to my party were the world and London's leading female models. And it was a fancy dress party. So because the models and confident, they'd always come in lingerie and all that, mate. So that's a nice life. You know, people would die to have what I had. Do you know what I mean? So it was hard to say, well, I can't do that anymore. I was like, well, I might lose it. I might go away and someone else might take my place and do it, and I come back and I can't make any money anymore. But I just had to take that leap of faith, bro. I knew I had to take the leap of faith. You know, it was 49% kill myself, 51%, come on, I am a strong man. I can change my life. This isn't the rest of my life. I've just got to make the change right now, and I know I can do it, and it's done. And I'm just taking that leap right now, right? I'm going to India tomorrow, and I just booked and went, mate. And my life started to change. I changed my internal narrative. I changed my internal chatter through choice, mate. I had power, and I just started being a different man, and that's changed my whole life, mate. And I'm now 14 years into that little moment of time, mate, where I was kill myself, not kill myself. No, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to do that, right? Just do that. Do it. Go for it. Do it now. Let's go. And then that just started to blossom anymore. Whatever you put your mind on, mate, you can choose to believe and think about anything. You've got infinite potential within your head with imagination alone. Imagination is your entrance point to the infinite. You can imagine and think about and believe anything you want. Yes, we'll get influenced by the external world, but still you've got 100% control over that. And at the time I didn't realize what I was doing, but I changed my narrative, mate. I changed my internal narrative, which changed everything about me as a man and my whole reality from that moment forward, and still is. From that moment of time, mate, it was one of the hardest things I've ever gone through, as you can fucking hear. But it was actually my wake-up call and actually one of my biggest blessings. So the hardest moments of time, mate, can be your biggest blessings if you get it right. And we all get this life test, bro.
Yes.
I don't mean specifically the suicidal one, but we're all living on this planet where we're all going to get the same archetypal tests. And that is money test, relationship test, illness, disease test. You know, we'll all get the same 10 tests, money test.
Yes.
You know, we'll all get the same tests, really, and they'll all come through in a unique pattern because we're all unique snowflakes, but we all get it. You know, and it's what you do with the tests that deem who you become as a human. And I didn't know this all the time, but I was just strong enough to just move in the direction of positivity rather than let the devil take control of the negative little voice in my head. I chose the positive, mate. And that changed everything for me. And I'm so thankful for that moment in time now, mate.
I just know there are a couple of people listening who are suicidal, who are in this winter, and who have this voice, this constant voice, you're not good enough, it won't ever get better. Maybe dying is even the solution. Maybe killing yourself is the solution. Because that's probably one of the thoughts that you have. You know,
regularly
when
as well.
Like, just kill yourself, it's going to be easier.
Just stop. I just wanted to stop.
I just wanted to stop.
Stop.
That's
That's it,
something
mate.
I
You just
heard
wanted to
in my
stop.
work many times. I want this anxiety to stop.
Yeah.
What I want to do is give people a couple of practical things they can do.
I can help massively, mate.
Yeah, tell us, what is something like practical things people can do
Yeah.
when they are in this situation, when they wake up from anxiety attacks, if they just went through a breakup, and that can be, I saw your facial reaction, it can be painful.
Worst. It's the hardest of all, bro.
And that is, again, there's so many men who never speak about anything other than like, you ask them, how are you? And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But they're not good. What are a couple of practical things for someone who's going through winter time?
Well, the hard and sad truth is, mate, a lot of the time, depression is usually decisions you're making that are on the wrong direction of your highest path that you've been making for a consecutive amount of time that's led you on a downward spiral. You've always got power to make changes, mate, and you can always become a better version of yourself. So I do look at nutrition, mate. What are you eating and what you're putting in your body? Like that's key, mate. It affects your whole energy system, what you're choosing to eat.
Yeah.
Nutrition, are you eating the healthiest food you possibly can? Because usually with depression, you're eating pizzas and shit food as well. That ain't going to help. You've got to stop putting that poisonous food in your mind, in your body when your mind's already poisonous.
Yes.
So I would recommend look at your nutrition. And if you really want to snap out of a lower energy called depression, eat the healthiest, most positive, empowering foods you can source in your environment, which for me personally is organic plants.
I think you will like this one. So serotonin, the so-called happiness hormone, 90% of it is being produced by your gut. And so we need to, whenever it comes to mental health, we also have to talk about gut health. And your gut loves fiber. Your gut, by the way, hates alcohol. What alcohol does, whether you drink or not, it's your choice. But we need to face reality, and what alcohol does is it kills good gut microbiome. So you have less of it. It's going to be harder to be in a good state, to have a good mental health when you drink. Like, just look at alcoholics. It usually comes with being depressed as well. That's a byproduct. And so I love that you say that you got to nail the foundations.
Got the foundations, mate. Go back to the 4 things I talk about, which is the nest principle.
Yeah.
Nutrition.
Okay, nutrition. Eat
Exercise.
mainly, eat a lot of, eat fiber, eat real food.
Well, for me, mate, how it works, I've been a scientist, mate, for my entire life. My dad was in the SAS, which is like the Marines. He was high up in the Marines. And from the age of 3 or 4, very young as I can remember, I was jumping, boxing, running around the block with him, climbing, and I haven't stopped training my whole life. You know, at the age of about 18, it came in like protein. So I started protein shakes, the obvious one, you know, experiment with, well, how can I get musclier, which is how I was thinking at the time, musclier. You know, and I've done the Atkins diet, the cabbage soup diet, the GI diet, the caveman diet. I've done about 30 diets, and when I say I do them, I'm like, if they're 6 months long, mate, I'm going to do them the way the book tells me to do them, so I can learn if that's true or not true. Mm-hmm. You know, and at the age of 30, when I had this suicidal depression, veganism came into my life. And I read a book on it, and I was like, there's something about that one that's different, because I do love animals. I've always said I loved animals, yet I'd kill them and eat them, and that's not living in alignment with myself. So I thought, well, I'll give this veganism a go, because I'm looking for new things, and that feels like a loving, peaceful, compassionate way of being. And I was looking for positive change in my life because I was depressed. So at the age of 30, at this moment of time when I was highly depressed and suicidal, I give veganism a go for 1 month, and that changed my life more than anything. And how I view it now is that God or nature or this magical reality that we're all part of, that grows the trees and is the sun and the star and the moon and the earth, and everything's rotating around each other at the perfect distance, so everything's in place, you know, and the food grows itself by a little seed falling into the soil, and the rain and the sun hits it, and it automatically grows into a tree, which gives you thousands of other fruit, you know, and it's just a beautiful, miraculous system. God, that system, I call it God, gives us 80,000 edible plants. And I just think, well, is it not common sense, away from any book I read about the caveman diet or the GI diet? Because the truth is, I read a book on meat eating 20 years ago, that was like, that's how we're meant to be eating. And then 20 years later, I read a book that was equally convincing with case studies on veganism. I went, well, that's equally convincing. I'm like, but I remember reading that book, and when I read it, it had all them case studies, that scientific back, and I was like, that's true, because it's got all that, and 500 pages, and I'm like, that's it. And that one's a complete opposite of that one. And that one reads true, and I'm like, right, books can be hijacked, because there's opposite books there, and they both read true to me. If I bring it back to my heart, and I didn't get any information with books, and I love books, but by the way, mate. But if I'm being the decision maker in my own life, how can I decide what's healthy? And ultimately, mate, it's common sense. We're obviously meant to be eating food from the trees that grow 80,000 foods. And when I eat a strawberry, 2 strawberries nearly always grow in its place. When I eat an apple from the apple tree grows quicker. So the more fruits and vegetables I eat, the greener the planet becomes for everyone else, and cleans the soil and cleans the earth. And I'm just like, that's just obvious for me now. That's the healthiest way to eat for me on the planet.
One thing about common sense is it's not so common.
It's not so common, but the truth is the most commonsensical thing we can think of. So how can we heal the world? Let's cancel war. And I mean, that's just obvious for me. I mean, but yet we're not. You know, all this dramatic spiritual shift we've got to try and achieve now as a species is actually just curing our own insanity.
I think I'm going to play someone who is going through this shit. I think if you're going through this shit, you're not thinking about how can I make this world a better place.
Yes.
You're thinking about how the fuck do I get out of this?
Yes.
So...
What I've learned though, mate, you asked me the question, if someone going through this shit, what can they do?
Yeah.
And if they can somehow, I'm a big believer of karma. If they can pull on positive karma coming in that direction, which you're choosing to eat meals 3 or 4 times a day. If you can eat food that is good for you and the planet, that's going to help you nudge your energy up a bit, because I do believe karma comes to you, mate. I'm a big believer in karma, and a lot of people would say, oh, yeah, I believe in karma. If you're nice things happen to you.
1,000,000%.
So if you can really if you're looking for things to do in that moment of time of suicidal depression, if you can just jolt out of just your own life and just say, well, I'm feeling shit, but maybe I can make the world a better place, you know. And if you can do that through your food choices, nutrition, Nest principle, nutrition, that's one of the things that helped me. I started eating vegan, mate, and it shifted my energy completely more than any of the other 50 diets I did, and I felt it quickly as well. You know, healthy veganism, which is I eat raw organic plants largely. 70% of my diet is raw organic plants, and the other 30% is cooked plants like quinoa, sweet potato, you know. But raw organic, nature in its natural state, the way God give you it, you can't get healthier than that. So nutrition is going to help you to shift your energy up. Stop the burgers, stop the comfort eating, stop the chocolate bars. That's going to make you worse. If you truly want to shift out of this suicidal depression, nutrition, exercise, mate, exercise, get to the gym, sweat, take out that anger energy that you've got, that frustration energy, or that depressed energy, by doing a fucking 100 press-ups, and then I'm going to do 100 more, and using that masculine, sad anger energy and alchemizing it to power in the gym, to get your body sweating, to get them toxins out your body, to get that feeling, that pump, and actually, I look quite good. You know, you can have that as a new focus.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck it, I'm feeling depressed, but I'm going to smash the gym for an hour every day. Fuck it. You know, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm not killing myself. I'm just going to do it. Nutrition, exercise, sleep, mate. Regular sleep patterns. Go to bed about 10:30. Try not to use no alarm, and get up about 7 o'clock or whatever it is, but no alarm. Let your body do the processes it needs to do when it sleeps. And this is the last one, mate. The Nest principle, T, is toxins. If you want to feel better, stop putting things you know to be toxic in your own body. The biggest one is always food and alcohol are the 2 biggest. I do a lot of coaching now with this, mate. And the 2 things I see people are poisoning themselves with, and they're knowingly poisoning their own body, which can actually be it was a main culprit for me, mate. I was putting toxic substances in my own body regularly, and that poisoned me. And a poisonous body goes down. I'm poisoning myself, bro. And that's the problem with the society we've created. The poisons are all around us, easy to get, cheap to get, and highly addictive. And we're poisoned to about 10 things before we're even aware of what poisonous is at the age of like 14, 15. With your Cocoa Pops, your chocolate bars, your crisps, your cheap bread, your microwave meals, your alcohol, your cigarettes. You know, so look, you've got to be honest with yourself. And this is the thing, mate, addictions, toxins. If you're eating toxic substances, you're addicted. And if people are addicted to toxic things that are poisoning them and giving them depression and suicidal depression. So if you can eat healthy, good food, really good, healthy, good food, organic apples, organic bananas. You're going to finish your food in 5 minutes. You've got your 5 minutes of it tasting like that or 5 minutes tasting like that. If you can just choose the organic bananas, the organic papaya, the organic plums and grapes, and just eat that in the 5 minutes rather than that, that's going to help your body heal itself and get rid of the lower energies out of your body and detoxify your body. If you're eating the burger and Domino's pizza and the chips, you're just going to, the depression's going to get a little bit worse overall because you're poisoning yourself. Exercise, get to the gym, pound it out, sweat, move your body, move that shit through your body, move that energy through your body. Sleep well with regular routine. Toxins, look at what you're poisoning your body with. And this is the hard one because it's not easy to get rid of addictions, but it's a process, but you can do it. And if you can get that out your body, mate, I can guarantee, not even 99%, 100%, them 4 things can shift someone's energy completely, mate. Because that activates the upward energy then, bro. And then you're getting a little bit healthier week by week. And sooner or later, that depression energy is just going to drop away, bro, because you're going to feel good in your body. You're going to look good when you look in the mirror. You know, that's how I gauge if I'm doing well, is that look in the mirror, do I look good? Yes. Close my eyes. Do I feel good inside? The external and the internal. I don't look at measurements. How much do you weigh? I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. How much protein do you eat? Don't know. Don't care. Well, I look good and I feel good. Like I'm doing well. So if you're doing the nest principle, mate, there's a moment of time you're going to be getting healthier and healthier and healthier, and that's going to drop away, and healthier, and that's going to drop away, and healthier. And then you start, I believe, bro, on that journey is how we actually switch on our superpowers, mate. Like your intuition gets stronger. You know, things like that, because that's happened in my life for sure, bro. I can hear someone more and focus on someone more and feel what they're saying to me more than just the words now. I can figure someone out where they're at in their entire life in about 1 minute of conversation with them. Do you know what I mean? And that's almost like psychic abilities, but it's not psychic abilities. It's just using your body, being aware, and your brain's fully powered. Because I'm training well and I'm eating the best food and I'm sleeping well and my body's working the way it's meant to be working, bro.
So you nailed the foundations. I think that is really important for everybody. Nail the foundations. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Please do.
If I channel someone who's going through it, I'm like, mate, I don't even know how to get out of bed. What are you talking about?
There's got to be a switch sooner or later.
And there's a practical tool I would like to share.
Please do, mate.
It's called the 3-second rule. There's this. I found it really helpful for me when I know there is something I need to do, but I feel resistance. It could be as simple as talking to a person I want to talk to, or having a conversation that's maybe a bit uncomfortable. I still use it every day. I go 3, 2, 1, and I do make the first step.
That's amazing, bro.
That is usually the hardest.
Oh, mate, that's amazing.
The first step is usually the hardest. And even like when I say I'm going to go for a run, it starts raining outside and I really need to go for this run. 3, 2, 1. The hardest step is usually the first one. And then once you're in it, you're like,
fuck it.
Actually, this is great.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Every single time when I jump into an ice bath, there is resistance. I go 3, 2, 1, first step, and then I breathe a bit. And after about 10, 20 seconds, this actually starts feeling good.
That's it, mate. That's the power moment, bro. And that's what I was saying before. We've got that power within us. You know, the internal chatter. You're either 40, I said I was 49% going to kill myself, 51%. And it's just that little moment going, no, I'm not doing that, I'm doing that. And just that little inertia in that direction, which you might not want to get out of bed, bro. But the truth is you can get out of bed. And the truth is you've got to do it, mate. You've got to do that little 3, 2, 1 and get up out of bed and eat that organic apple and go to the gym. You know, and if you keep doing that, the suicidal depression will go. So you've got a lot more power in your life than you realize to make different decisions. You've got to realize whatever you're doing currently has led you to suicidal depression, and that's the truth. You're doing something wrong. It won't all be the external, oh, this has gone wrong, that's gone wrong. You will be doing things definitely to be contributing to that lower frequency that we call suicidal depression. There's got to be a moment of time, if you're truly sick of being in bed and feeling down, use that as motivation of going, I'm sick of this. 3, 2, 1, I'm going to change it right now, and I'm doing it, and that's it. And that's the power, bro. I'm going to do it, and that's it. That you can use to start that and actually change all areas of your life however you want, to create a new reality. But it's that magical power. I call it the fuck it spell, bro. When I'm just like, oh, fuck it. Like, it's a masculine, like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to do it. And I know it's hard, and I can't be arsed to. It's much harder than doing that. You know, but I am just going to do it, and it's done, and I'm starting, and it's begun, and I'm 10 seconds in now. It's that, mate. That's the power within all humans, that we can change our reality.
Yeah, I would say it's the inner. I always say everybody has an inner compass. There is this voice, this inner wisdom. Everybody has it.
God,
Just
bro.
some people have unlearned how to listen to it. And for a long time, like I think for the first time in my life, I think I was 20 when I listened to that inner wisdom for the first time. Like I just trusted it. And it led me to the most beautiful, blissful places in my entire life. I just want to recall, there are a couple of practical tools people can use. Number one, you need to nail the foundations. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be resistance that you need to expect.
Always.
There's always resistance.
Big. Some of it can be big, bro.
Sleep, for example. I know it's going to be hard for some people to go to bed. It's one of the hardest things nowadays, even if you don't have depression or whatever. Going to bed before midnight. For some people, it's like, no, how? How am I not scrolling on my phone for like an hour? That's the new normal. It's going to be, whenever you change something, beginning is going to be a bit harder. There's going to be resistance.
For sure.
But at some point, it's going to be the new normal. Mm-hmm. At some point, it's just going to be part of your program. But I think you said it beautifully, the decisions you make today need to be changed. If you think about it, most of the thoughts that you're thinking today are literally the same thoughts you thought yesterday. And unless at some point you snap out of it and you consciously change something, nothing will change.
Correct.
So if you right now feel you're not at the right place, we need to change something. We need to change a thought, and then if you change a thought, you change your behavior, which leads to a different decision, which leads to a different reality. So right now, and I needed to do this recently, like I teach about this and I still have moments where I'm not feeling well. Which leads maybe to a different point that I want to add to the table. If you're struggling, reach out to someone.
Definitely, mate.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
I see this especially with men. They think they need to go through all of the hardships by themselves.
Correct.
You mentioned, I'm not sure what his name is, but the guy Jamie. I saw the look in your eyes, the amount of gratitude and love you had for that guy because he was there with you during that time, and how freaking beautiful. When we have wins, we want to, what's the first thing you do when you have something amazing happening in your life? You want to call someone. You want to share it. When we have a problem, when we have a challenge, we think it's the right thing to just, pretend everything is fine, but it's not. And there are those videos of people who committed suicide one day before. And it's often people who pretend everything is great and make everybody laugh. Robin Williams is an example for this. But inside, it's a whole different story. And I want to encourage men and women, but especially men, to also talk about what's really going on inside of you.
We've got to, mate. We've got to share what we learn as humans on this planet, the good stuff and the bad stuff, and it makes it so much easier and actually more fun.
Yeah.
If you just release
deeper.
Much
deeper.
More beautiful, bro. If you just release the ego and just don't be embarrassed about the mistakes you made, because the truth is we all make...
We all fuck up. 1,000,000%.
Monthly. 8 billion people will all make mistakes, mate. We're all doing we're best. And I'm in the best place I've ever been in my entire life for a consecutive amount of time now, but it's not all good, bro. I'm living on a planet that's being poisoned where there's war and pandemics or whatever. Do you know what I mean? There's still negative energies coming my way, and I'm straight into sharing. When I've got a problem, mate, now I'll ring whoever I think I can relate to at the moment.
So important. It's one of the most...
I actually love it now, mate. I love hearing another perspective, bro.
Can you say that again so that men get that?
I absolutely love it, mate.
I love even helping someone, a different person, whether it's man or female, but in general, we human beings, we love to help. We love to give. Bro. We love to support each other. If you really, in our essence, we love to support each other.
All of us, mate. All of us. And I've seen you make the strongest bonds when you're vulnerable with someone else, mate.
Yeah.
I really feel like when someone hears all sides of me, or I hear all sides of them, your heart opens up, mate.
Yes.
Your heart fully opens up, you know, and you create heart connection, and it's beautiful, bro. So any men that are going through what you're saying, and you know that suicidal men on your page right now, reach out to me. I'm up for a conversation all the time like this. I'll listen to everything you're going through, and I'll give you a little bit of a different perspective. I might give you some ideas, or I'll just listen fully to what you want to explain to me. But I can guarantee it doesn't have to be forever, and it won't be forever, mate. But they can make changes, and I'll try and encourage them to say, well, where is the power in your life? What are you doing that you know's not good for you? And let's try and experiment with just moving that around a little bit right now. And a key thing is discipline, bro. I'm 14 years being super healthy now, mate. And it is my life and my daily pattern now, and I love it. But still within that, bro, I've got to apply discipline. I've still got to not do that and do that. You know, it takes constant discipline. It takes a little bit of focus. It takes a little bit, I'm going to the gym. You know, I love it, but sometimes I've got to give it that energy. You've got to stay disciplined. Discipline is something we've all got to practice, being gifted this beautiful machine called the body in this lifetime. It requires love. It requires respect. It will thrive off that. I think our highest calling is to become the best version of ourselves, mate. I believe that's the highest, the biggest test of all on this planet, is to see how awesome we. And that's something I can give the men. I'm like, yeah, you're going through a tough. One of the things I was able to do was put my own problems to a side and say, right, well, my life's fucked, it's shit, but maybe I can make the world a bit of a better place while I'm feeling so sad, you know. And I put it on a bigger picture rather than just me, and that didn't sometimes motivate me. I thought, fuck it, I want to kill myself, right? What if I don't kill myself and just try and do something awesome and maybe die in the process of doing something awesome, and then I die in quite a cool way rather than dying in a way that it's just like, oh, I'll just kill myself then. You know what I mean? And that was another consideration as well, is like, do something awesome for someone else today. You might be feeling depressed, but why don't you go and sweep the path for your old lady next door and just not even tell her you've done it? Just go and do something beautiful for someone else today. You know, go and do the shopping for someone. Tidy the house for your mom. Ring your mom and tell her you love her. Just do something nice as well, and that makes you feel good as well, you know. So it's another little practice I found myself doing just to make myself feel better, is just being selfless.
Yes. I asked you before we started recording, we went and had food together. I asked you, how did you change? And you said something along the line, when you shifted from obsessing about yourself to giving, to helping others, to making this world a better place, that became your focus. And there's this quote, I don't know if you've heard it, the secret to living is giving. And I couldn't agree more. Like, one of the most healing things I've ever done is volunteered at a school in India. It's interesting because you mentioned India earlier before. Now everybody's going to India.
India's amazing, man. It's like another planet, India.
It's a different planet. I actually had a dinner with a friend yesterday, and she's like, I didn't like India, but it's all about perspective.
It's challenging, mate. Yeah. So some of the things I saw in India was like some of the injuries and the poverty, bro. Yeah. It's one of the things that made me realize we're not living right here. There's children and people in horrific pain and in horrific circumstances that I'm like, they don't need to be like that. We can do better than this. There's a massive amount of people very, 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 very poor in horrific conditions in India. Do you know? And it really motivated me. That's when I was going through my life transition. I was like, there's something wrong with the world. We're doing something drastically wrong. I can feel it in my being. I'm suicidal. This doesn't look right to me. These desperate children begging me for $1 and with desperation in their eyes, and they're beautiful and small, cute, and there's loads of them around me. And I'm like, oh no, this feels wrong. I don't like it. I'm really uncomfortable. I'm like, we're walking the wrong path as a species, individually and collectively, mate. Mm-hmm. And I
completely agree. That's where I think we need to focus on the solution. Like, I see this we have this German term called, if you translate it one-to-one, it's called world pain. Pain about how things are. I'm all for it, feel the pain, but at some point we got to do something about it. Definitely, like, we need to focus on the solution.
I feel like we're at a choice point now where we're actually facing two ultimate outcomes. Like, we're in the process of a choice point. Yeah. Where one way I think we're facing complete and utter dystopia, where we're fully controlled with microchips and fucking robots and drones and credit systems, or beyond that, extinction. Or on the other hand, which I'm working for, and when I talk about heaven and earth and bringing heaven to earth, and that's what Rise and Shine represents to me, the sober party I run is a heavenly party. I think what's the most beautiful, empowering, healthy, positive party I can think of Like, what would it be like in heaven? And I bring that to the earth now. We could create a heavenly system, mate. We could create a system that works for all life using technology, and if we all work for the betterment of mankind and move our actions in that direction. Imagine if you had 8 billion people all working to look after their bodies, each other, and the planet, and technology supporting that rather than creating nuclear bombs, which are destructive technologies, but healthy, positive, entertaining technologies. We would create heaven on earth quite quickly, and I feel like we can do that now, but we've all got to come into agreement with like, well, how could that work? We all want love, peace, health, happiness, security, safety for our families. We all want the same thing. We all just want a house and a bit of food, and that'll do. Do you know what I mean? And we can do that if we're building nuclear bombs and flying satellites around fucking Mars and whatever, and and the Hadron Collider, the Large Hadron Collider, and the scientific experiments and the advancement of mankind. Now we can create a world peace system, but we've just got to all come in agreement of like no more war, no more killing. This is where veganism falls into to me as well. And it's funny, you look at the Bible and it says, "Thou shalt not kill." I'm like, that's a good one. Why don't we all just not kill, not just humans, but each other, animals as well? I believe if we've got a legal system on the planet that's books big and so complicated that I wouldn't understand at all if I read it. I think get rid of that. It's overly complicated. It contradicts itself and it can be hijacked where people can get away with murder and stuff like that. Just bring it down to one law and one law only and one rule that we can all understand, can't be complicated and can't be changed, and it's do no harm. Do no harm to yourself. Do no harm to the planet. Do no harm to each other, and do no harm to the animals. And that's the start point, mate. And I think we've got to make drastic change now. So I live by that myself.
Yeah. Do not harm. I like that.
If we all live by that, mate, we could have world peace. That's world peace in one simple law now. And everyone would go, yeah, I want that. Everyone would agree that they want that. Everyone understands it. It's not complicated. But we all could live by it, and that would be the thing, is the commitment to it. But we all could live by it, and it's very simple to live by it as well. And that could be the start point to build a new system on planet Earth.
Yeah, I think do not harm is also a good piece of advice when you are in this winter place for yourself. And I love your passion for it. Playing devil's advocate, I don't care about the world right now if I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Like all of those questions. I think it could even be, if you focus really on things you can't control, that's what I tell people when they talk about like world pain. Some things you can't control, some things you can control. Let's focus on what you can control, because if you focus on what you can't control, you're going to feel miserable.
Yeah. Powerless.
Focus on all the things you did wrong in the past. You're going to feel miserable.
Yeah.
Because you can't change it.
It's done.
Okay, if you want to feel really depressive, just pick a couple of moments in your life when you did something wrong. Like, really focus on that. Or focus on something you lost when you perceived a loss. Wherever focus goes, energy flows, as simple as it gets. So, I think what you just mentioned is that we have immense power over the inside world. And that's, you mentioned that word power so many times. And I want people to, after this episode, to take their power back.
Definitely.
To look, what you need to play your part. Like, you want to get out of this, I need your help, we need your help.
I love that, mate.
If I could do it for you, I would. I swear to God, I would, because it's so painful. Just preparing, in preparation of this episode, I don't know how many times I teared up. When I read this book by Nick, when she told me she lost one more day, yeah. She lost 3 friends, I was just sobbing there. Because it's such a lie. It's such a lie to believe it's going to be easier when you're not here with us anymore. It's not the truth, and I don't want you to live in that lie or believe that lie. I want you to stay here, and I want you to ask yourself, that's the question I have for you, and for you if you want to, what happened to you? Because I believe when you were born, you were pure fucking love. You were self-confident, you were in your... I believe really as spiritual as it sounds, I think you are everybody's a good person. Just something happened to you.
The system, mate. The system pollutes us. Society and the system.
I think you're something in most cases, honestly, so far I haven't seen a single place where there's someone, or a single situation where there's someone depressed and there was no major, massive trauma. There are many people in denial and saying like, no, my childhood was good. And then you really decode it and you're like, okay, well, let's talk about that. There must be something that happened. And sometimes it's even so tricky that it's unconscious. Like my mom died, I wasn't even conscious. Like I didn't even understand what happened. You know, when you're like 1 year old and your mom dies, might not be consciously like, oh my gosh, there is some like obvious trauma or obvious effects because, hey, you didn't even know her. That's what I heard my entire life. But then I was like, wait a minute. So maybe I wasn't conscious at that time, super conscious. Maybe I don't have memories, but oh boy, it has a massive effect on me as a person if you lose your mother, you know? And I'm sure there is something.
Always, mate.
What's happened to you, rather than demonizing the person. I'm not like I'm someone who even I go that far. I'm like, I don't demonize a single of my ex-partners. I don't think that the person is. I don't think it's the right approach to demonize them and say that they're evil or they're the new word toxic. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think they're a toxic person. There's trauma. And then there are ways people cope with trauma. Some people isolate. Some people do the opposite. They attack. Some people push people away. But at the end of the day, there is trauma. And I think even if you nail those foundations, at some point, you need to heal that. At some point, you need to look at it. And at some point, you need to change the story of why it happened.
I think 100% of us get traumatized as children, bro, and that's a part of being a human on this planet. Well, I've had a lot of therapy sessions, and I've had an amazing bringing up. My mum and dad are still together, and they're not perfect. Nobody is. We all make mistakes, as we were just saying, you know. We all get frustrated, but as humans go and as parents and families go, I've been blessed, mate. Let me tell you, I got the best mum and dad I've ever heard of when I hear stories of other people's parents and experience other people's parents. My mum and dad are amazing at bringing me up. But when I was having therapy sessions and the person said, well, what happened with your parents? And I went, nothing happened there. My mum and dad are absolutely amazing. He went, everyone gets traumatized growing up as an emotional child, like we all are. You know, he says, let me rephrase that question. Excuse me. What was the saddest thing you remember as a child? I went,
oh, good question. What is the saddest thing you remember as a child?
And I says, well, actually, it's funny you ask that. I think about this one a lot. And it's one time my mom wouldn't let me go to the fairground because she was worried I might get into an accident. And all the other 30 children from my class were allowed to go, and I was the only one that couldn't go. And I got so upset. I was crying in my bedroom for more than I ever remember crying. And it's not really a big bad thing, like she beat me up. I was just really, really sad that I wasn't allowed to go to the fairground, and I wasn't allowed to go. You know, and that was a thing for me. And I remember how upset I got about that. And I understand my mum. My mum's a worrier. She's always worried. But that actually traumatized me, because what that actually done when he broke it down, he says, well, in that moment, your mom's taken away 100% of your freedom. She's controlled you 100%. And you weren't even allowed, you were like a prisoner in your own home, you know? And I was like, oh my God. He's like, it's true. Like, my mom was my worst enemy in that moment. The woman who was meant to love me more than anyone else was actually my worst enemy. And that caused a traumatizing moment of time, which really, when you hear about some of the other traumatic experiences like fucking sexual abuse, you know, and beating up, and constantly mental abuse and stuff like that. Mine's just a smidgen of a decision where I understand the woman that my mother was, why she made the decision. Maybe it was wrong, maybe it was right, maybe it was her intuition and I was going to get into an accident and lose my arm. Do you know what I mean? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
But that was a traumatic experience for me and affected me. And what I believe is you've got to recognize that moments, talk about them, and just bring it to the light.
Yes.
It's inside you,
yes.
And you've just got to think about your childhood and not think about it and realize why certain things made you feel certain ways and just bring it to the light and talk about it. And when I talked about that, mate, and just brought it out, I was like, oh, I feel much better. Literally, I felt like I healed my traumatic child experience in that moment of just talking about it and recognizing it. So it's good to think about the saddest thing you can think about as a child. And now you're adult, it might feel like nothing, but as a child, it was something. You know, so I believe 100% of us have got their moments stored within us, and you've got to bring it to the light to let it go and just let it go and accept it. And in that moment, I was able to accept it because I understand why my mom made that decision. But it was a thing for me because I found myself, when you asked that question, I'd been thinking about that regularly throughout my life for no reason. And I didn't really understand why until me after that. I thought, that's a trauma I think about a lot. Yeah. It's been constantly present in my life. And now I've kind of processed it and thought about it a bit more than just being a fleeting thought that was constantly coming in my head for no real reason. And I've just let it out. So I believe all of us have got traumatic child experiences just because we're human. And when doesn't a child get highly upset or traumatic now and again because children want their own way a lot, you know? So that's a good point, mate. And I think it's very important as well.
1,000,000%. First of all, I love that you say that you have a therapist. That's another of those things that still today, many people perceive this as a weakness, especially men. Like, you have a therapist? Like, what's wrong with you? I think it's one of the biggest strengths you can develop as a man to actually ask for help and to share and to have a therapist. Like, mentally, I would say I'm at a good place, still have a therapist. I love my therapist. Like, I'm learning so much, I'm growing. And there's nothing weak about asking for help.
No, man. Well, we've been conditioned to think what's weak, you know, crying for men, we'll get told is weak, but crying's really therapeutic. And
yeah. There's a reason why your body
wants to cry.
Has even the ability.
I know.
You know, like, women can cry, men can cry too, for a really good reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not mistake by, by the universe or God or biology. No, it's a way to process.
Again, it comes to listening to your body, listening to its communications, its thoughts, its feelings, its emotions, and living in alignment with your body. You know, and we have been told men are weak if you do this and do this and do this, you know, like cry and have a therapist. Let me tell you, mate, having a therapist or a mentor or a coach is epic. It's brought so much magic into my life, mate. I absolutely love it. I'm always looking to have them sort of conversations with people all the time. I'd say it's essential, because what you're doing in that moment is bonding with another human where you go, I don't know all the answers, and you're opening your being up to go, can you help me? And the answer is yes. Other people, we've got to help each other out of this mess.
Yes.
None of us can get out of the mess that we're in individually, because it's a collective thing. We're all in a bit of trouble here, and we've got to help each other. And you've got to be open to say, actually, can you help me? And what will happen is...
Isn't that pure fucking strength to say, can you help me?
It's love, mate. It's connection. It's opening yourself up to receiving powerful energy from another being, and it will lift you up. It's another thing, mate, about the suicidal depression. Ask for help, because there'll be men and women out there that definitely will be able to help you. Just ask for help, and they'll step forward, and they'll raise your energy by giving you their time and energy. Just giving someone your time and energy boosts your energy automatically, because giving your time and energy to someone, you know, it's a form of magic, bro.
There will be people who would love.
I love it, mate.
To help and support.
I love it.
But we need your help.
I love it, mate.
You need to ask for it.
Everybody loves it. It's a part of the human soul to want to help other humans. We all want to help each other, mate. Yeah. And when you get the opportunity to, you're like, oh, that person's asking to help us. I'm going to help them. I'm going to make their life better. It's so sad. It's probably one of the most satisfying feelings you can get as a human when you're
giving,
when you help someone else.
Gives you a clue, doesn't it?
So give us the opportunity to, like, open the door and let us walk through it, because we will walk through it, you know.
Yeah, and you know, there are different timelines. I do this for a living. I help. That's my purpose. Like, my purpose is I love helping people. Nothing makes me happier, maybe paddleball. But other than that, nothing. I'm serious.
Game on.
Why are you laughing?
Nothing
makes me happier than helping someone, than seeing my work has a positive impact. That's why I do what I do. Like, oh, amazing. However, there are also times in my life where I am seeking out for help and say, hey, I don't know, I need your help. I need your guidance. Can you please help me with this? And there are people who say, yes, I'd love to.
Mate. That's how it works.
I'd love to. And that's just, we are social creatures for a reason.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And this isolation thing is another reason why people get depressed. Because depression, I know it's a bit It's controversial to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways because I think it's the truth. Depression is I'm going to be careful here. Depression is a state. It's not something that you have. Like I even tell people when they say I am depressed, I'm like, careful, amigo or amiga. I'm a depressed person. No, you're not. Right now, you're in a depressed state of being. I've been there. Everybody has been there, probably at some point. Just if you keep living there, at some point, that's going to be your identity. And then, thinking the same thoughts as you were thinking yesterday, it becomes like, I'm an anxious person. No, you're not. You've just been living that way, and so it became your identity. In your pure essence, you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. That's not the point of a therapist. The point of a therapist is heal you so you come back to your essence, which is a good person. You're really, also narcissists. What is that even? Like, it's a term that we made up. It's not that some people were just born as narcissists and we should ban them from society and demonize them. No, something happened to them.
I agree fully on everything you say.
They've been traumatized.
I agree.
And they haven't healed yet.
I agree. It's a state, mate. It's not something that's in you and is you. It's a state that you've got into, maybe it's by some of the things that are happening in your life, but also a decision that I believe you're making to get in that path, mate. I do believe you've got the power to get out that state as well.
You have a 1,000,000% you have the power.
Bro. You have.
You know how many people have already managed, your life testimonial of
to
this.
get out of it.
You can get out of it.
For sure, bro. It's one of the life test moments. It's God sending you a life test saying, right, I'm going to give you these circumstances. It's going to be hard. Can you get out of this? If you can, you will become a better person, a stronger person as well. Some people don't, but it's a life test moment that we all get sent being alive on this planet, mate. We all get life tests. You know, we all have struggles, every single one of us, some more extreme than others from certain perspectives, but we all get them.
Yes.
You know, and it's what you do with them tests that deem who you become in the next chapter of your life. So the suicidal depression can actually be a trigger for the next level of your life. But you've got to take responsibility of where you've got your power, mate. Yes. And it's easy to say, I can't be arsed because I'm down and I'm sad and I feel sick. And I understand that, mate. I was there. But you can. The truth is you can. You've got the power to. And that's empowering if you think, oh, shit. And you've just got to get the moment, well, I'm going to. That's the moment, well, I'm going to. It's just going to start happening today. And I'm just going to get out of bed today. I'm going to go to the gym today and eat healthy food today. And you can start the process right now, today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow or next week, mate. It doesn't have to be, well, I'm going to have depression for a few more weeks, probably. It's like, I can get out of this, and I will, and I'm going to start right now. And
even if you don't know how yet, you will.
It's the 1, 2, 3 thing, mate. Just do it. And I call it the fuck it spell. I'm going to just fuck it, get out of bed. Just go. Just go. Do you know, I'm sorry, I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to spell. Just beep it out, bro.
No, I don't beep.
Beep it out. Yeah, you can. It's just the 1, 2, 3. Let's just go.
Yeah.
It's an internal choice, mate, and it's so hard to make that choice when you're feeling so depressed. That's the test.
That's the test.
If you bring the test down to one micro moment, mate, yeah, you might have 6 months of sadness and breakups or whatever. But if you bring the test of depression, and it is a test, mate, a life test, down to one specific moment, that's it. It's the 1, 2, 3 thing of like, I'm going to change. I am done. But it's hard to do that, but you can. You can. So if you truly don't want to be in that state, mate, you've got to make the changes where your power lies. What changes can I make that will definitely be positive, which I'm talking about the NEST principle, the 4 areas, and start doing it today and tomorrow. And I can guarantee, mate, through experience, hand on heart, you can get better, raise your energy, get to a better place than you've actually ever been in your life. And what will happen is the depression will use as motivation to become a better person. And that will happen even beyond that, which is nice, which we were just talking about. You'll start teaching other people how they can get out of that state as well. Naturally, because you'll relate to them when they talk to you about it. You'll go, my heart goes out to you. I know exactly where you're at. It's horrific.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help you because I've been through it and I know what I did. That made them changes. And it's where's your power in making them changes. And this is the whole thing, just doing it.
Yes. One pattern that I see from the people that make it out of it is they find something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, that's what I talk about the world peace thing, mate.
I've seen it in you. That's not one of my main areas, but whenever I have someone who comes to me inside of a coaching container or retreat who says like, I have depression, one of the things that I try to do with this person is to find something like a really good reason to wake up in the morning, something bigger than themselves. A loved one, if they have kids, if it's someone who passed away, that can be empowering as well. That's what I did internally with myself. My mom passed away, and I came up with the story, the meaning. Hey, I got this chance to live. She didn't. So I'm going to live for two people here.
Nice,
I'm going to live for myself, and I'm going to live for my mom.
Beautiful.
And that is like my inner compass in life. Because I'm kind of like, I'm running through life with her. Not in the sense of like I'm constantly living in pain in the past and she should have not passed away. If I really keep holding on to that, I'm just going to be miserable all my life. And that's the last thing she wants. So when I have someone in front of me, or maybe someone is listening, I would want to know, like, what could be your why? Why are you going to make it? Why will you get out of this a gazillion times stronger? Why will you turn the worst day in your life into the best day of your life? Why will this be your turning point? Who's that person who loves you so much that you can show up for? And that's usually when the shift happens. And I saw that shift earlier in you happening, or basically you described it. The focus was not on you anymore, obsessing about me. The focus was like, I want to do something meaningful here.
Well, that's purpose, isn't it, bro? I feel one of the things that can contribute to depression as well is if you're not living your heart, your purpose. Mm-hmm. You know, your soul's going to be crying out a little bit. So when you put it on me, I want to make myself happy, and can I make the world a better place at the same time? If you're thinking on that level, you're then seeking your purpose beyond just making money for yourself and making the world a better place for just yourself. If you can make it bigger than you, like I say, and factor that into your mind, that is, I believe, what we actually should all be doing in anyways, you know?
Yes.
And that's how we will make the world a better place, and we need to now. So it's more in alignment with purpose. And when you start living in line with purpose, your soul's more fulfilled, bro.
1,000,000%.
Your soul's more fulfilled.
It's a really interesting concept if you think about it, love. Whenever you give love, don't you feel loved?
Definitely, mate.
Don't you feel really good when you give? When you literally just give.
The best.
That's when you feel amazing. When you buy someone flowers, like for me as a man, that's like when I give someone flowers and I see the face, that is like, oh my gosh.
I love it, mate. Well,
that's just like I feel so loved.
But that's who we are, mate. We're designed to be that way. And if you're not filling that channel, that outgoing channel, you won't be as happy as you could be. You know, you've got different aspects of your being you've got to try and fill. And one of them is giving love. And that's what karma is, mate. And that's how it works. We should be loving each other. If we're loving each other, then you've got 8 billion people loving you. And that's like, if you're giving a lot, you're going to receive even more, actually.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's one of the ways that we've been conditioned not to think about the planet and helping each other. You know, because we're so focused on just getting through life, because life can be quite challenging. But if you start thinking, right, I'm going to think about me and other people on the planet, and I think about the animals as well, that's super fulfilling, bro.
Yeah.
That fills your soul on a different level then. Yeah. You know, and I feel like that is how we're going to change the world, how we can change the world, and how we're actually created by God. You know, and we've been conditioned to think away that and live in this life where we've created major problems because of that.
Yeah.
You know, selfish. You know, the business world is a dog-eat-dog world. Just to get ahead of the game, make more money, stab whoever you've got to in the back, bomb whoever you want now. You know, and we've created this system that's business-orientated, priority. You know, and we need to be.
I mean, if your business is giving and your business is helping, then there is nothing wrong with business.
Well, this is where we need to go with business, mate. It's called teal consciousness within the business realm. Like what we've done as a species is made profit at the top of the pyramid. What
giving should be at the top of the pyramid. It should be, how can I make your life better?
Well, this is what teal consciousness business is, mate. And it's only came around in the last 10 years. What it's done is done a flip in the pyramid and it's put profit secondary. And what's primary in teal consciousness business, it's called, is making the world a better place. So yes,
it's helping, it's giving.
Make as much money as you want, but we've got to get to a point where I believe we should make. If you're destroying the planet to make that money, we're going to make that illegal now. You know if you're making the world a better place and making loads of money, make as much money as you want.
Yeah.
You know, so by putting profit at the top of the pyramid and the impact you're having secondary with that is why we've got a war industry now, and why we've got McDonald's ripping the rainforest to make more Burger Kings or McDonald's, whatever it is. Do Do you know what I mean? And that's just mad now, mate.
Yeah.
We've created problems because of that, obviously.
Can I say something? I know, like I see I see how your face changes. I love that you want to, you're obviously someone who wants to have a positive impact. I think the impact that we can control is like, the thing we can control is ourselves. So everybody who's listening, who's watching, you can put so much anger towards, Burger King and McDonald's and all of it. Do it. But who's going to Burger King and McDonald's? We do it. It's our
Supply and demand, mate.
supply and demand. It's okay. If we change, everything else changes.
We could put whatever business we want out of business overnight. If all of us stop going to McDonald's, mate, we'll go, actually, that's destroying the planet, killing a lot of humans and ripping the rainforest down. Stop buying that. 1 week later, McDonald's are gone, bro. We've got so much power.
Yeah. We got so much power. If we send McDonald's to the moon, the problem is still there. The problem.
Exactly, mate.
We are the problem.
This is why I believe the decisions we make, and if you become a truly healthy human, you've got to factor in your body and the planetary body. That the habits you've got to have to be a truly healthy human, then you don't spend money on McDonald's, mate. I'm giving my money to the best locally produced organic farm shops. My money's going to them and I'm supporting what they do, which is a positive thing.
I love that.
So that's how actually you make the world a better place, when you become a truly healthy human as well. But this is why you've got to start thinking about, how am I treating myself, and how am I treating the planet? So you've got to have positive habits when you're thinking about the planet as well. And that impacts you first and foremost, but then all the other people as well. So you're pulling on positive karma as well just by thinking on that. This is why I do Rise and Shine as well, mate. The Sober Party that's a positive project. Yeah, I make money off it. It's my business, mate. But my priority is actually making the world a better place. And then hopefully I'll make as much money as I possibly can off it.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah,
because,
you know what I mean? Yeah, I think 1 million%. Oh. I think the danger is when we start demonizing business, or we demonize money. It's not like money. You can do the most amazing things with money. You can do
money's neutral.
Money's neutral. Is 1 million%. It's up to us what we do with it. It's just a tool. So let's not demonize the tool. Let's look at reality. Okay, so it's about how we use it, what we use it for. Because I see in society a lot of people who demonize business and demonize people who have money. Do you know how many amazing people run around planet Earth with a lot of money who do the most amazing things you don't even know?
Yeah, many.
Because they don't even want credits for it.
Attention. They don't want attention.
They don't want attention. They don't want I just want to give.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing people who do this.
If I was a millionaire, billionaire, I'd probably do that, mate. I'd probably just do magic things and go, I don't want anyone to know about it.
Yeah.
I don't even want an Instagram. Do you know what I mean? I would probably do that if I had that much money, just doing epic projects as I went around the world. That would be my dream reality, mate.
Yeah.
Just activating epic projects around the world and doing it on the down low. Just doing it on the down low.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, mate.
It's so beautiful to see you here.
Yes, my bro.
Because I'm a visual guy. I have pictures. I have, when you shared this, this moment of you having razor blades close to your veins. I was picturing that and I could feel the pain. And seeing you here now, vibrant, if I can make a comment about your age, but you don't look like 44. You're so vibrant, so full of love, so full of joy. And I think you're a role model for a lot of people who are going through a tough time. You're a testimonial of what's possible if you make a different choice. If you have faith that this problem that you are facing right now is not going to be around forever, that there is light. It's such a light.
Thank you, mate. It was beautiful to receive.
I mean it. Yeah, I mean it.
I'm at the pinnacle of my life now, bro. My health's better than it ever been today, and it will be a little bit more tomorrow. My love life's amazing. Business is going amazing. I'm a free man. I'm feeling happy, healthy, and at peace. And I'm living my purpose, bro. I'm making nice money, and I'm making the world a better place as I do it. So yes, and I was suicidal, So it shows not only can you get out of it, you can still create an incredible life. And I feel because I've focused on them things, I do get compliments regularly saying I don't look 44 because my skin's amazing, you know.
I mean, you're
feel
gorgeous,
amazing.
man.
My body's
Your
good,
eyes.
bro. Yeah, and it feels good, bro. I look at the mirror and go, I look amazing. I close my eyes and I'm like, I feel amazing. So I'm like, I don't need anyone to tell me, oh, but you're not getting enough vitamin B12, or you're not eating enough protein. I'm like, I don't care what you say. Whatever, my body's operating well, and I can feel that and I can see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I've cracked. I feel like I'm connected to God, mate, through my nutrition, through my prayers, through my action, through my intention. You know, I feel like I'm living a high life, a good life here, and it feels good, and I'm excited, and I'm living in joy, and I love it, bro.
If someone is listening right now who is suicidal, someone who perhaps has anxiety or experiences anxiety on a regular basis, what would be a couple of words that you would have for that person? A message.
Just know we all go through lower periods in our life, every single person that walks the planet. And actually them downward energies, them lower energy frequencies can be messages from the body that you're not walking a path or not making some choices that are serving you. And if you can be deeply, deeply honest with yourself, you'll probably be able to figure out what it is you're doing, that you can have you've got the power to change. And it's the moment, the 1, 2, 3 moment that you just got to go, I'm going to change. You know, I want change. You know, I can make the world a better place. I can make my life better, and I know I can, and I believe I can, and I trust in myself, and I'm a powerful being. I'm a miracle. I've got billions of miracles operating inside me right now for me to be alive and for my eyes to work and my ears to work and my brain to work and my heart to work. And I'm living on a beautiful planet with billions of other miracles all around of all shapes and sizes with a free will to do what I want, flying through an infinite cosmos full of miracles. Actually, I'm quite blessed. You know, I've got the power within me to make change, and I'm going to do it. And it's going to start right now, and I'm just going to do it. And you can also message me, message you, and message many other men that'll hold your hand if you need a little bit of help and support and a little shove up, get on my shoulders, let's do this together. You know, there's men and women that are here to help you, and we will help you, and we're happy and we're excited and we're waiting to help you. So if you don't feel like you can do that 1, 2, 3 moment yourself, we're going to encourage you, you know, and let's do this. And we're going to alchemize this low moment of time to actually be the motivator in your life for the rest of your life and become a positive. That's what that can be. It can be that, mate.
Yeah, you can turn the worst day in your life literally to the best.
It's weird, bro, but you can.
Yeah,
it's
really
strange to
weird.
say that.
No, honestly, I went through cancer. There's a book called Blessed with a Tumor.
Wow.
I understand it. It doesn't trigger me. I'm like, I get it.
Me too, mate. I get it.
I get it. I understand it. I learned so much. Like the darkest time of my life led to the most beautiful one. So often in life. And it's not the case that I'm just like, no, I'm healed. And I think you mentioned it earlier. Life is like the seasons. You're going to experience winter times.
Yeah, mate. That's what this is.
And we're just getting, it's not that, you know, at some point in life you don't have problems anymore. You just get better quality problems. You get better at dealing with problems.
Definitely.
If you work on yourself, you get better at it. Get better at, you know, dealing with insecurities, challenges, all of it. My message would be, you're not broken. There is nothing wrong with you.
Definitely, bro. I agree.
There is something that happened to you. And maybe you don't even know what it is, but that's okay. But you don't need to be fixed. You're not broken. No. There are probably we all have coping mechanisms that are somewhat destructive at times. All of us. We sometimes do things that we're just not proud of. I think you could write a list with things you did in the past that you're not proud of. I could do the same thing. Many. And that's just how everybody.
Humans, bro.
We're humans. I think what makes the difference is to say, I take self-responsibility here.
Yeah, man. Big one.
I'm going to take self-responsibility right now for my life. I swear to God, that's the moment my entire life changed. When I stopped being a victim of my past.
I call it not just honest, but deeply honest with yourself, mate. Being deeply honest with yourself. What am I doing? What have I done right? What have I done wrong? Where's my power now? What can I change? And let's go.
What can I change? The day that turned my life around was the day when I stopped being a victim. There's the saying, you're not your past unless you live there. Unless you keep repeating the same old story. And that's where all the power is.
Because it's a choice. It's a choice.
Yes. However, it's unconscious. You're thinking the same shit you were thinking yesterday, and you repeat it over and over again until or unless you interrupt it. You break the pattern.
Practice new ways. It's
You break the pattern of
neuroplasticity,
being...
isn't it?
Yeah, you break the pattern of repeating the same old thing. Break the pattern of being yourself, basically.
So the 1, 2, 3 moment that you talk about could be a moment when you just start to create a new pattern. That's the moment you go, oh, I'm sick of lying in bed. I'm so down. Life's so shit. Actually, life's quite good. I've got the freedom. I'm going to get out of bed.
Bam, do it.
And then do it, and then practice doing that over and over again, because you know that's more positive. And even if it doesn't feel good, and the truth is it won't feel good to start off with, and that's what makes it hard. But 1 or 2 or 3 days in, it will feel better. Then 4, 5, 6 days in, it'll feel better. And then you started. It's a case of just doing it, mate, and practicing it, and over and over, and creating new pathways in your body, in your life, in your brain, neuroplasticity, you know, over and over. And you can do that actually any point you want, mate. And that's so empowering, bro.
1,000,000%.
It's a spark, bro. The spark's a hard thing. Even the flint, mate, when we were cavemen, it was hard to get that first spark. It took us thousands of years, but once we got it, the fire's lit and we're all good, bro. You know? But it's true, it's that first internal spark. And the truth is, you can do it whenever you want, really. But it's hard. It doesn't have to be, but it is. You know, it's another one of them paradoxes. It's as hard as you want it to be. But you can create the spark to create a new life anytime you want.
Yes.
And the lower moments of time will become your biggest blessings. What you were saying before about the tumor is my biggest blessing, or whatever that book was. Suicidal depression created the man I am today, mate. Like, I started in a whole new journey because of that, and I'm living my purpose. It was a wake-up call from God.
I love that.
It was God going, nah, Anth, that's not why you've been sent to the planet. Have that. And it was a slap around the face from reality. And it was a wake-up call, bro. And it was hard. It's almost hard to say I'm happy that it happened, because I remember how depressed I was. But the truth is, mate, I'm glad it happened, because now I'm living in Bali doing sober parties with the girl of my dreams, healthier than I've ever been. My body's working well. I look good. I feel good. Life's great, bro. I'm happy. I love today. I can't wait for tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I feel we're about to create heaven on earth, do you know, as a species. And I'm just absolutely buzzing for life. And it all started with suicidal depression, where even if I didn't have suicidal depression, mate, I was hungover every other weekend. It was an all right life, you know. And people used to say I was cool, and it was quite a cool life, mate. It's cooler than going to a 9 to 5 job every day. But still, it was like mediocre and normal, and living a life where I was a robot, mate. And I didn't even realize I was a robot. I was doing the same things over and over again and poisoning my body. Do you know what I mean? So it was a wake-up call for me, mate, the suicidal depression. It activated my new life. So I've got to say I'm truly grateful for it, mate.
I love that.
It's true, though, mate.
I can so relate.
It's true.
And that's, some people call that toxic positivity. I call it intelligence.
Yeah.
Because you have a choice.
Logical.
I'm not sure if it's logical for many people. I mean, I get it.
Upon
no,
reflection.
I agree.
Reflection.
I think there, you can you had 2 choices. You can say, I'm not going to change. I'm a victim because all the
my life's
the past.
fucked.
My life is
game
fine.
over.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
That's a choice. Or you say, you know what? I'm going to use this as something, as fuel to create something really beautiful and meaningful. I'm going to use this. You came up with the empowering story to say, this made me the man that I'm proud to be.
It's true.
And I did the same thing. I said, the card, we've all been given, set of cards. The cards I've been given, for sure, I wouldn't say the best. However, all the trauma, the childhood trauma, growing up with alcoholics, I don't have that many hands to finish.
Yeah.
All of that led to this amazing person that I am right now. And I'm so happy to say that. I wouldn't be the man that I'm really, really, really proud to be without all of those challenges. So thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you to us as well. Well done to us.
Thank you.
For navigating the test that God sent us and that sends us all and alchemize it and making it positive and making it motivational to make the world a better place, bro.
1,000,000%.
I believe that's what's going on this planet. I believe actually that's why we get sent to the planet from a higher perspective, is to go through a hard time, but alchemize it and become a better person.
That's how you build muscle, no?
That's how we build muscle. That's how we make a better world, how we make it better us. You know, I believe that's what's going on in the world on a global level right now. We're all going through it, but we're about to alchemize it on a collective level now.
It's hard to see when you go through winter, but one day you will look back and you say this made me so strong.
Yeah. So if you're going
through, and you know what? Even during winter time, there's beauty.
Always, man.
You're gonna remember the moments. Just like I love this moment. I think I'm gonna keep it in the podcast of you guys coming together, going through a breakup together. You know, you will have this memory for the rest of your life.
Moment,
no,
wasn't it? Yeah, definitely, mate. We created a bond as well.
You create a bond. That's if you just do one thing and talk about
someone else fully.
Talk about honestly what's going on inside of you.
To one other person fully.
Don't hold back. Stop the pattern.
Bond created, bro.
No more surface. How are you? I'm good. Bullshit. I went to the gym, and I think if you interview my friends, they will tell you like Axel is a sunshine. He makes people laugh. He loves to give, but I'm just a human being, and I have moments in my life when it's not always summertime in my life. And there was this moment couple weeks ago. I went to the gym, and someone I see regularly, that asked me, "How are you?" And honestly, I had a really hard night. I had nightmares. I wasn't feeling good. And he asked me, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm miserable right now." And he walks by me. And I'm like, I'm not blaming him or something. I'm like, this is where we are at. Someone says, "How are you?" And he just expects you to say, "I'm good." Mm-hmm. I'm there to say, let's cut this surface bullshit and go, let me actually listen. Like, how are you? But give me the deep one. Like, how are you truly? And I get you don't want to speak with everybody about it, but I want to encourage men and women to really speak about how you feel. Yeah. That should be the new normal.
I love that, mate. It's a form of honesty, and for me, honesty is a form of love. To be truly honest with someone is loving someone, mate. And when you're in a suicidal state, you don't have to speak to everyone about it, but you'll know the person that you're called to reach out to. You know, the intuition will tell you to reach out to Axel or my mom or my dad or whoever. Yeah. But reach out to that one person, and it'll be a beautiful bond you create when you reach out to that one person. There's always someone ready to reach out to you, mate. Yeah. And I love being honest. That's why I talk openly and honestly about my suicidal depression, which I could keep that locked away, mate. You know, in a way it's a bit embarrassing.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
It's a bit cringy, do you know what I mean? You know, but I don't care, me. I talk about all the mistakes I've made as a man, and let me tell you, I've made many. I've cheated on women. I've been out of order to women. It was disgusting, and I learned massive lessons from that as well. I'm really deeply honest about the embarrassing, cringy man and the mistakes I've made to share with another man to say, "Oh, you agree with that? Well, that's something we've got in agreement." Or maybe I'm saying this to you, and you don't have to go through that. But I don't really care, mate. I'm honest with everything I've gone through. The good times, and I've been an awesome human as well, but I've also been a not a nice human as well. So I feel like we've got to be honest with each other. You know, we've got to, and it's going to support each other, and it's therapeutic to be honest with someone. And the truth is, we've all been awesome in ways, and we've all been out of order in ways. You know, we've all been silly and stupid in ways. Because we're all human, mate. We're all in this together. We're all living on this beautiful planet. This is our home, and we're not perfect, you know. We all know that, you know, and share. Just share your problems, speak about it openly and honestly, and we can get through anything together. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I'll put, obviously, there are a lot of free resources available to men and women who are facing depression or who have suicidal thoughts. I'm going to put everything in the description below. Please, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for the people you love. Reach out, ask for help. Please, 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 please. I wouldn't be alive if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Ask for help. I'm going to put your page, your socials in the description below. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your story. This, as romantic as it sounds, or as spiritual as it sounds, this will really change the life of someone.
Good, bro.
And I wanna acknowledge you for that, for being so unapologetically yourself, for sharing your insecurities, your challenges. I have a lot of respect for you as a man for doing that, and couldn't be more grateful.
Thank you, my bro. I really appreciate them kind words, and I'd like to wrap up on saying if any man or woman is going through a tough time, I'm always open to receive a message, mate, and start a conversation. I can bring light to your life. I can bring new ideas to your life, new perspectives. I can motivate you. I've not only been through it myself, but obviously talking about it so honestly, and now working within helping and here within the health and wellness realm heavily, which I do now. I've connected to hundreds of people and had this conversation over and over again. And there is certain things that can really jolt someone or give someone a little new lease of life or a new idea or a new motivation. So I'm open to everyone, mate. I want to help as many humans as I can, make the world a better place, make people realize how blessed we are to be living on this magical planet, and we can create a beautiful life for ourselves and for each other. And I'm fully committed to that, mate, bringing heaven to earth right now.
Bringing heaven to earth.
Bringing heaven to earth, mate. It's Nelly here.
Amen to that.